I wasn't looking for proof. I wasn't suspicious. I was just looking for my sunglasses. They had slipped under the passenger seat, and when I reached down, my fingers touched something cold. It wasn't metal. It wasn't trash. It was a phone. Not his phone. His phone was always in his pocket. I had seen it that morning when he kissed me goodbye. This one was hidden, turned off, and in that moment, before I even powered it on, something inside me shifted. If I had closed the door and pretended I never saw it, my life would still make sense. But I didn't, and when I turned it on, I realized I didn't know the man I married. The phone had no passcode. That should have been comforting. It wasn't. People lock what matters. They protect what's valuable. This phone felt temporary, disposable. There was almost nothing on it. No social media. No photos on the main gallery. No saved contacts. Just one messaging app and one conversation. The last message read, "Is she still clueless?" Sent 3 hours earlier. My throat went dry. Below that, "Relax, she won't find out." I stopped breathing. I scrolled up. There were deleted gaps. Long stretches of missing messages. But what remained was enough. Late night plans, references to hotels, screenshots of booking confirmations, and one photo, a little girl in a pink jacket, sitting on someone's lap. The photo was cropped. I couldn't see the man's face, but I recognized the watch on his wrist. It was the one I gave him for our anniversary. I didn't confront him. Not yet. I put the phone back exactly where I found it. And I waited. That night, he came home late. "Traffic was insane," he said, dropping his keys into the bowl by the door. I watched him carefully. His movements, his tone, his face. Nothing unusual. He kissed my cheek. "You okay?" I forced a smile. "Yeah. Just tired." I had never felt so awake in my life. 2 days later, he left for a work dinner. I followed him. I hated myself for it. But I needed the truth. He didn't go to a restaurant. He drove to an apartment building across town. Not fancy. Not run down. Just ordinary .comma. He parked like he belonged there. No hesitation. No checking mirrors. He walked in. I waited in my car, my heart pounding so loud I thought I might faint. After 20 minutes, I went inside. Apartment 3C. I stood outside the door, listening. I heard his voice. Soft. Different. Gentler than the way he spoke to me lately. And then I heard it. A child's voice. "Daddy, are you staying tonight?" My entire body went cold. "Daddy, we don't have children. We've been trying for 4 years. Doctor appointments, hormone treatments, endless disappointment. And now, not tonight," he replied softly. "Soon." I stepped back like someone had shoved me. I left before he could see me. I drove home in silence, gripping the steering wheel so hard my hands hurt. An affair was one thing. A secret child, that was another life. When he got home that night, he looked almost happy. "How was your evening?" he asked. I stared at him. "Do you ever feel like you're hiding something from me?" I asked quietly. He froze for half a second. Then he smiled. "Of course not." It was too smooth, too quick. That's when I knew. The next morning, I turned the second phone on again. This time, I dug deeper. There was a hidden folder inside the gallery. Dozens of photos. .comma. Not just the little girl. Another woman. Different places. Different years. This wasn't recent. This had been going on long before I found the phone. Then I noticed something else. .comma. Gates. Some of the photos were from before we were married, before we were even engaged, before he told me he had never been serious about anyone before. I felt like the air had been sucked out of the room. He hadn't just cheated. He had lied about his entire past. I needed answers, so I did something I never thought I would do. I knocked on apartment 3C. The woman opened the door. She looked surprised, but not confused. She knew exactly who I was. "You're his wife," she said quietly. Not a question, a statement. "You knew?" I whispered. She nodded slowly. "He told me you were separated." Separated. I almost laughed. "We live together." Silence fell between us. The little girl peeked around her leg. "Is that Daddy's friend?" she asked innocently. The woman swallowed. "Can we talk?" I asked. We sat at her kitchen table. She looked exhausted. "He told me he was divorced," she said. "That you two were finalizing paperwork." "We've never even discussed divorce," I replied. She closed her eyes. "How long?" I asked. 6 years. 6 years. Our marriage is 5 years old, which means it started before me, or at the same time. Then she said something that shifted everything. "She's not his daughter." I blinked. "What?" "She calls him Daddy. But he's not her biological father." My head spun. "Then why?" He stepped in when her real father left. He said he wanted to build a real family. A real family, while building another with me. I went home in a fog. When he walked through the door that evening, I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I placed the second phone on the kitchen table. His face drained of color instantly. "How long?" I asked. He sat down slowly. "It's not what you think. It never is. You have a child calling you Daddy. She needed someone," he said quickly. "Her father abandoned her. I didn't want to." "And what about me?" I asked. "What did I need?" He didn't answer, because the truth was simple. He liked being needed, by both of us. 2 women, 2 homes, 2 identities. With me, he was the struggling husband trying to start a family. With her, he was the stable father figure. He didn't want to lose either version of himself. But here's the twist I didn't expect. The phone buzzed. On the table, a message popped up. "She knows, doesn't she?" I looked at him, then at the phone, then back at him. He wasn't the only one lying, because there was another thread, another number, another conversation, with someone saved only as M, and the messages weren't romantic. They were strategic. "She suspects something. Stay calm. We'll figure this out." I opened the thread. It wasn't the woman from the apartment. It was his mother. His mother had known. From the beginning, she had helped him juggle both lives. Covered for him. Alibis. Excuses. Fake work trips. My chest tightened. It wasn't just betrayal. It was collaboration. In the end, I didn't scream. I didn't break anything. I just looked at him and said, "You didn't just lie to me. You built an entire system to keep lying." And that was worse than cheating, because cheating is impulse. This was architecture, carefully designed, maintained, protected. When I found a second phone in his car, I thought I was about to uncover an affair. I wasn't prepared to discover a man who needed 2 families to feel complete. And I definitely wasn't prepared to realize I was never the only wife. I was just one version of his life, the edited version. And the moment I turned that phone on, the illusion ended.